Unencumbered by political correctness, undeterred in her mission to spread the truth, unafraid to be a true conservative, she's unapologetic, uncompromising, unwavering, and an undeniably powerful voice when we need it most. This is Rose Unplugged.
Welcome to this episode of Rose Unplugged. Before I get started, I just want to remind everyone that my sponsors are very important to me and they help make these episodes possible. And so I do ask that you would support them. If you need pillows or anything bed related, actually, if you go to mypillow.com, they have more than that. I have a dog bed from them, slippers. We are at that time of year where slippers are so important. So they are the coziest things. It's like somebody's like just hugging your feet. Not that anybody would really want to, but that's how cozy and comfortable they feel. MyPillow.com, promo code ROSE. You get great savings, sometimes free shipping, depends on the day. Promo code ROSE, MyPillow.com, promo code ROSE. Also, I have a new sponsor, and that is Patriot Mobile. And I love them because they believe in America and our Constitution. They're the only Christian conservative wireless phone provider. And they fight for the sanctity of life, religious freedom, Second Amendment. So you can get the same nationwide coverage as the major providers because Patriot Mobile isn't limited to just one network. They have all three. Go to patriotmobile.com/rose. patriotmobile.com/rose. Or call 972-PATRIOT. Promo code ROSE. By the way, if you mention my name and you put my name in the promo code area, you get a free month of service today. They also have great deals for first responders and veterans, so ask them about that. You know, there are so many things going on in the country today, in the world today. There's sickness, there's job loss, there's difficulty making it paycheck to paycheck. There's concern over how things are going to turn out. World events, our events in this country. And I think about how often we wonder why a particular thing is happening in our life or in the life of someone that we care about. And we question God and we question his will when we're going through that difficult time. And if we're honest, we would acknowledge that what we are really saying is, this isn't how I would handle this sickness, this disease, this job loss. Basically, we're saying, hey, God, I would write this story differently than you. Isaiah, when he was speaking for God in Isaiah 46:10, said this, I make known the end from the beginning, from ancient times what is still to come. I say, my purpose will stand, and I will do all that I please. That's a powerful statement. It almost sounds like my mom. When she would say to me, when I questioned her decision on something, I don't have to tell you why. It's because I'm your mother. That's why. And I feel like that's what God's saying. Listen, I know what I'm doing here. I make known the end from the beginning. I am from ancient times and what is still to come. And he said that his purpose is going to stand and that he will do all that he please, just like my mom would say to me. I mean, this is on a much grander scale because in that passage from Isaiah, God is reminding his people that he doesn't have to explain anything. He has a purpose, and because he is God, he will do what he pleases. It so much reminds me of the scripture from Jeremiah 1:5. It's so beautiful. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. God knew us. He had a purpose for us. He set us apart for him. He will do what he pleases. I mean, we couldn't change that even if we wanted to. And I think it's interesting that he also wants his people to remember everything he has done. No one else has done what he has done. Think about that. Who else has created the heavens and the earth? Who else has created man? No one, and no one else could. It is only he that has done all of this. Don't forget what he's done. We can't even imagine the vastness of this proclamation. If it weren't coming from he who created all things, he who was here before all things, we would think these words were words of a megalomaniac. And the definition, by the way, of which is someone who has an unnaturally strong wish for power and control, and who thinks they are more important and powerful than they really are. And you know what? Here's the irony in that. Those of us who question God's direction or decisions, we are in fact the megalomaniacs. We are the ones who want to control this situation, control our lives. We think we're more important and powerful. But you know what? It is God and God alone. He really is all that by the very nature of who he is. And on the subject of megalomania, John in chapter 19, verses 9 through 11. And he, Pontius Pilate, went back inside the palace. Where do you come from? He asked Jesus. But Jesus gave him no answer. Do you refuse to speak to me? Pilate said. Don't you realize I have power either to free you or to crucify you? And to that Jesus answered, you would have no power over me if it were not given to you from above. Bam, put in his place. Pontius Pilate had a very high position. He was, after all, the Roman governor of Judea. In verse 10, Pilate was actually boasting to the Son of God, of all people. Think about that. He's boasting to the Son of God of his authority to release or crucify him. Wow. But Jesus, knowing full well where he came from, replied, you have no authority over me at all unless it had been given to you from above. Jesus knew who it was that had written even his story. Pilate would have no authority over him unless God himself had written it into the script. And Jesus trusted that. Jesus knew that. Do we need any further proof of divine authority? Jesus subjected himself to Pilate's authority, not because Pilate held authority over him, but rather Jesus was obedient to God's story, the story he wrote. In the passage from Isaiah that I referred to, God uses the phrase from ancient times. And it reminded me of the description, Ancient of Days. And that first appeared in Daniel 7:9, where Daniel has a vision of heaven. He writes, thrones were set in place, and the Ancient of Days took his seat. I just think that is such a powerful visual. The Ancient of Days. There was no time before him. There was nothing before him. It has always been him. The Ancient of Days took his seat. A reminder that God existed before time. And in Isaiah 43:13, God refers to himself as here from Ancient of Days. He said, yes, and from ancient days I am he. No one can deliver out of my hand. When I act, who can reverse it? Before days were, he was. He is in total control. If he has done something, no one can reverse it. Period. Period. That's it. Do we really have a grasp on the magnificence of God, the greatness of God? I don't think we do. I do love referring to him as the Ancient of Days now. He was here for the past, present, and future. That is so powerful. Who is like him? This puts me in so much awe of him. I bring this up because whatever it is you're going through, and everyone is going through something right now, whether it's sickness or disease, or your finances, or losing a job, finding a job, it doesn't matter. Relationships, whatever it is you're going through, remember it is God who has written this particular chapter in your life. He wrote this chapter. I often think about my mom, who was only 48 years old when she died. I couldn't imagine how this lovely and kind, just sweet woman could be taken from us while we and she were so young. It made no sense at all. Looking back, I can see how that chapter played an important part in the lives of all four of her daughters. For one thing, as a result of all that loss, we all committed our lives to Jesus. I'm sure that loss played a huge part in who we all are today. No doubt there were other reasons God had. How could I possibly even begin to know or understand his sovereign will in that? But the thing is, I believe that someday we will understand all things. And honestly, at that point, it probably won't even matter. It's just that I don't believe that even those of us who strive to know him, and we do, there's so many of us, we strive every day to know God. I don't believe we can fully behold all that he is and what his great master plan is. But here's the thing, here's the key. It's our faith that makes up for the gap in what we learn of him and what we will someday fully know of him. There's so much more to him. So this is where our trust comes in. This is where we say, I don't fully understand what you're doing here today, but I trust that it is part of the story that you have already written for me before I came to be. Because, friends, he is the writer of your story. Think about the author of a book. How do you suppose he would react to you attempting to rewrite his story, to tell him the way you would prefer his story unfold? It would be an insult. And it would be foolish because he already knows how he is going to bring everything together to a conclusion. To tell him would be an insult. If you were to stop him and question the direction of his book before you knew how he intended to end it, wouldn't that be presumptuous? Isn't that what we're doing when we tell God, I don't like how this is going. I can't believe you're doing this to me. Why are you doing this to me? Let God write your story. Trust him with it. Push yourself through the difficult chapters. They are there for a reason that may or may not be revealed to us in this lifetime. He really is just too big to question and doubt. It is, after all, his story, not ours. In Psalm 138:8, we read, "The Lord will fulfill his purpose for me. Your steadfast love, O Lord, endures forever." Our powerful, all-knowing, deeply loving God has not closed the book and left it unfinished. No. He's still writing our story. Oh, and spoiler alert, for all who believe, the ending is magnificent.
It's Emily Green here, State Director with Americans for Prosperity Pennsylvania, our Commonwealth's largest citizen watchdog organization. 57% of polled voters believe that the most important issue Congress can address today is border security. This seems like a common sense priority, but the Biden-Harris administration is doing nothing to stop the deadly flow of fentanyl over our southern border. To make matters worse, our own Senator Bob Casey has done nothing to represent our concerns about the border. What has this inaction led to? 8 million illegal crossings since the Biden and Harris administration took office. This is a record, and it's time for Congress to act. We can't let this crisis get worse. It's time we send a loud message to Senator Bob Casey. Fix the border once and for all. Head to securebordersecureamerica.com today to tell our senator, protect families and preserve public safety instead of playing partisan games. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.